This is Algebra 2, Lesson 5.5, Logarithmic Functions. So we are finally going to talk about how to solve an exponential equation. And we're going to do that using a logarithm. So the definition of a logarithm is the log base b of a number is equal to x. We can rewrite this as whatever the base is to the power of x equals the answer. That's the definition of a logarithm. So if I have my logarithm, I can rewrite that in exponential form. Once something's in exponential form, then I can solve using the change of base property. To get the answer, we do the log of the answer divided by the log of the base. And we're going to use our standard t thing, our solution, and it'll all fit together. So we're going to scroll down for example A. If I want to solve this equation, normally when you're solving something, so let me do this. Normally when you're solving something, and you want to solve for x, we'll know that we have to divide both sides of the equation by 4, and then x will be our answer. Now that doesn't work over here, for example A. I can't just divide by 4, because it's not going to work out. It's going to leave that x in the power, and so I use my change of base, I use my logarithms. What I need to do is throw logs onto the equation. Whatever we do to one side of the equation, we always do to both sides of the equation. So I'm going to write this a little bit larger. When I throw my logs on, I'm putting a log on each side of the equation. And what that does is it brings the x out of the exponent, so it's no longer an exponent, it's a full-sized x. It's getting a little crowded. I'm going to just try to write that a little bit smaller. Anyways, so now I can divide both sides of the equation by the log of 4. The log of 4's will cancel out. This x that was an exponent is now a full-sized regular x, and log 128 over log 4, that's going to be my answer. So on my calculator, I'm going to get rid of that so we can see a little more. On my calculator, I have a log button. If you're working with a calculator, I know most handheld ones have it. On this calculator, it's right here. If you have a smaller scientific calculator, it's right around where the alpha button is. If you have a cell phone calculator, I can help you try to find it if you don't know, but most calculators you can either swipe to the side or turn it and you'll see some more buttons pop up. But I'm going to do log 128, and I need to close my parentheses before I do my log of 4 on the bottom. And my answer in this case is 3.5. So, I'm going to go back up. I want this on the screen. So I'm going to take this logarithm equation, just like the one from the notes, and I need to translate that into exponential form. And the way that I remember this pretty easily is if we take whatever the base is. What is red? We take whatever the base is, go to the power of x, and it equals that number. So I'm going to start with my 6 to the power of x equals 14. 6 to the power of x equals 14. Then I need to throw some logs on. Then I can divide both sides by the log of 6. That x comes out of the exponent, and log 14 over log 6 is my answer. And I get 1.47. 1.47. I got a couple more examples, more of the same, but just more steps, more parts to them. So I have letter C, 4 times 10 to the x is 4,650. I'm going to start by dividing both sides of the equation by 4. And that leaves me with 10 to the x is I can't just divide by 10 because I have to get the x out of the power. So I'm going to throw some logs on. Whatever we do to one side of the equation, we always do to the other side of the equation. Then I can divide by log 10. Divide by log 10. And x is equal to whatever that division is. I got 3.07. My example D has a lot of steps, but it's the same thing. We're going to start by getting rid of the plus 4 using the minus 4. Next we'll get rid of the 2 by dividing by 2. To bring that x out of the exponent, I need to throw some logs on. Then I can divide both sides by log 3. And x is log 7 over log 3. X is 1.77. Okay, I have a word problem. We'll set it up the same way and solve it. We start with $500. We are going to earn 8.5% interest. We talked about setting that up back in lesson 2, where we do 1 plus 8.5%. The question is, how long will it take to reach $800? So I can start by dividing both sides by 500. Then I need to throw some logs on to take my x out of the exponent. And I can divide by log to get that to cancel out. So my full-sized x will be log 1.6 over log 1.085. Okay. And 5.76. So it'll take 5.76 years to accumulate that interest. So now we've talked about how to solve exponential equations with logarithms. In the past we talked about solving power equations with reciprocals or flipping the power. That's it for the notes on this lesson. That's also it for the notes on this chapter. Good luck with the exercises and let me know when you're ready for the assessment.